Hello and what is up everyone, it's Brutal Chaos. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be checking out another recommended video. This is going to be recommended by Samar. Big shout out to you, man. This is going to be the Luna Wolves Legion. I believe the XVI is the 16th by Oculus Imperia. We're going to check out this video because I don't know too much about the Luna Wolves. Like I said, I love learning. I love Oculus's video, so definitely support the original content. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for smashing that like button, leaving your comments, recommendations, and everything. Like I said, I love learning more Warhammer. I gotta continue some tabletop here soon. I've been feeling weak, man, so like I said, still, it's been a battle, guys, with my health. Let me put it that way. Like, I kind of go like a roller coaster up and down. I have my good days, I have my bad days, but we stick with it. So, I'm gonna shut up. Without further ado, we're gonna pull this stuff over here. Thank you guys so much, like I said. Let me make sure he has his video in the full shot. I don't know why it's kind of like over there like that. Hold on 1 second. I apologize. Make sure y'all see the full video here. And make sure you give some love to Oculus because like I said, he is freaking awesome, man. So without further ado, this should make it good. Let's freaking do this.
The offspring of the first found Primarch, the 16th Legion Luna Wolves were once
16th.
known throughout the Imperium as its finest warriors, but now
I was at least right about the 16th.
represent a byword for treachery and betrayal. They were once paragons of what an Astartes legion should be,
They look
whose
cool.
loyalty brooked no argument, and whose tally of victories was the envy of every army in the Great Crusade. Their ambitions were the ambitions of the Imperium itself, and their fall its greatest tragedy. Know then that this is a record of the origins, histories, and structure of the 16th Legion as Astartes, so that we may at least attempt to understand the fall that came so dreadfully.
Just want to say I love his videos. I love how much he puts into it and how much in depth he goes to it. I think for someone new, like I'm still new, but when I was brand new, when I just found out about Warhammer, it's a lot to soak in. You're like, huh? But man, he's definitely a more he's really good at explaining what he is, and I think you start getting into it and you start to tie things together better. So he's very good at what he does. I'm just putting it that way. Maybe a little much for a very new beginner Warhammer person, but man, I love Oculus.
In spite of their numerical designation, the 16th Legion is recorded as being one of the first fully active legions on Terra during the Unification Wars. Possessing an
I want to read something about this. Luna Wolves Legionary 3rd Trans-Solar Crusade, equipped with the MK2 armor. Okay. Helmet crest marks him out as a Centurion, and he's a veteran of the Unification Wars. I want to watch his video on that as well, so stay tuned. One day we'll probably check that out. I know it's pretty long, so may split that one into parts, and we got some other videos that I'm going to finish here as well. So yeah, stay tuned.
early strength of no more than 1,000 Astartes, its first recruits were drawn primarily from the subjugated populations of the Jutragan Bowl and the Samsatian slums. Both regions were known for their harsh quality of life, even by Unity-era Terran standards, and the humans drawn from them matched the rapidly emerging character of the Legion to an almost perfect degree. The 16th Legion was immediately known for its hyper-aggressive style of warfare, favoring the use of shock assault tactics to cripple an enemy with the utmost speed.
That's
Their
awesome.
campaigns
They
were
sound
often
cool.
short and especially bloody, but it should be noted that their style lay not in wanton butchery, but in targeted strikes to tear the proverbial throat out of any opposition.
That sounds cool. Now, was this the Legion that they actually put the riding the wolves? Is this Legion? Y'all have to let me know down below. I've seen that somewhere. They had these Space Marines riding these wolves, and then I figured, I guess whoever made that up was like, hey man, they're wolves or whatever Legion it was. I believe it was this one. But they're like, hey, you know what would be cool? Let's put them on a freaking wolf. It's like, okay, they'd have to be like the strongest wolf ever, because a Space Marine is not weigh lightly. They are thick.
Their savagery was always directed and rarely malevolent. In one account, by the time of the first lunar pacification, the Legion had perfected this method of war-making to such a degree that the lunar gene cults were brought to heel with remarkably little casualties, resisting the Imperial invasion for barely 6 hours until they, according to Crusade legend, begged the Emperor to call off his wolves. Whether this is apocrypha or not is unknown, but the name undeniably stuck, as after this battle the 16th Legion earned its first cognomen, the Luna Wolves. Their actions in the Coriolis enclaves left such an impression upon the region that the number 16 is still referred to as the counting of the wolf. While the wolf itself had long been rendered extinct on Terra, save only for genetic stock used to engineer slaved cyber beasts, the Legion adopted the name with relish, as the mythology of a patient, deadly, and remorseless pack hunter resonated with their character. Okay. While the wolf would later become synonymous with the 6th Legion, the 16th were the first to bear it as their name and their symbol, and indeed wholly embraced the concept to the point that individual legionnaires would take to adorning their armor with the pelts of canids. The character of the Legion asserted itself early, born of the initial successes during the Unification Wars. But unlike many of their comrades, the Luna Wolves would be exposed to external influences much earlier in the Crusade. While history is unclear on the when or the where, the Legion was reunited with its Primarch.
Oh, so Horus was actually part of the Lunar Wolves. I did not know that. God, I feel like such a noob. But wow, like, so he was the Primarch of the Lunar Wolves, so I don't know why I want to call it Lunar. It sounds cool, I guess, but Luna Wolves. So yeah, big traitor right there.
Horus Lupercal, before any other. The exact nature of the reunion is unknown. Some claim Horus was never lost to begin with, or that he was returned to Terra itself in his birthing capsule. Many more claim it was to the world of Chthonia he fell. These histories will be considered in a later record, but what the chroniclers do agree upon is that the Primarch was there to exert his will and formidable personality upon his legion at a very early stage, and that the legion itself was granted the planet of Chthonia as its primary recruitment fief.
See, one thing I do want to learn about Horus, now that I know he's part of the Luna Wolves, because I feel like a derp now. Like I said, I'd like to learn more about his fall to chaos and stuff like that, so that would be cool to check out. So if y'all have any videos on that, let me know down below, please.
Chthonia, scant light years from Terra, was one of the first planets settled during the long ages of humanity's first stellar expansion. The planet was almost absurdly mineral-rich, and provided the raw ore materials required to fuel the dark age of technology. Humankind ate Chthonia to its core, burrowing its metal teeth deeper and deeper into the planet's crust, while scarring its surface with towering hive cities.
Well, it's right next to
Terra. This demand
Terra
caused many of those in charge to disregard the safety of their workforces in a relentless drive for more profit. The labor gangs toiling deep in the planet could expect death to come readily and often, be it an explosive accident, a cave collapse, a magma breach, or a poisonous gas pocket. Those more poetic would describe the gas and dust-choked mines of Chthonia in terms of the Stygian underworld of human legend, hell on a planetary scale.
Sounds
Even
like
before the Age of Strife cut off the human realms from themselves, Chthonia had long since been ravaged of its mineral wealth. No longer able to sate its appetite, greater humanity had moved on, leaving those too poor to afford passage off-world behind to inhabit the now industrialess hives. Lacking any form of planetary governance or centralized authority, the descendants of Chthonia's labor gangs developed a gang-based culture. While doubtlessly barbaric by most standards, this would preserve human life.
Sounds like a rough planet, man. Like, this is the first time I've learned about Chthonia. It doesn't sound too pleasant.
Life on what was technically a dead and useless planet. Enclaves centered around charismatic or powerful gang leaders were carved out in the infernal heat of the old mines, obeying no law but the law of the strong. Might made right on Chthonia, and those who were cunning, cruel, and calculating would find themselves rising to the top quite rapidly. The rudimentary tribal groups often boasted clan armies of a sort, men and women bonded together by necessity-born traditions and led by the strongest and most capable amongst them. The effectiveness lay in the simplicity. A gang that was not powerful enough to resist the predations of another upon its territory or resources would simply die or be subsumed into a more powerful enemy. If resources were not required, some would fight to maintain or develop reputation, or to cull the weaker members of their own gang and blood.
So this seemed like a fight your way to the top like type planet here.
Cull the weaker members of their own gang and blood those who desired to prove themselves capable. A surprisingly rich web of traditions, respects, and rivalries developed over thousands of years, but none could trump the simple truth that power flowed down the length of the blade, or from the barrel of a gun. It has been remarked
Okay, it's right
upon by
underneath
imperial
Terra.
historians that Chthonia was in many ways a representation of everything that the Emperor had sought to quash on Terra, a festering hive of barbarity ruled by petty tyrants with no interest in the greater goals of the species. And in many ways they would be correct. Chthonia was beyond redemption and had no strategic value in either its location or industrial resource potential. The imperial truth and the manifest destiny of humanity held no appeal to the clashing tribes of the long-dead mines. But while its mineral wealth was long gone, Chthonia possessed a resource that, during the early crusade, was more valuable than adamantium: natural-born fighters.
Okay.
The first expedition fleet to leave Terra had marked the planet for total destruction, but the War Council overruled this.
So they got pure talent on Chthonia, at least. I mean, yeah, with the barbaric traits and all that stuff that he's talking about here, I mean, yeah, they should have some good fighters.
Some say it was the Emperor himself who saw in Chthonia the perfect aspirants for his legions. He also, by chance, happened to have the perfect legion. The 16th had, thanks to their role in the pacification of Luna, been granted the bulk of the satellite's gene-forge output, doubling their numbers as the Unification Wars ended, and doubling them again as the first extrasolar expeditions were mounted.
So what kind of... I'm assuming that's a bolter. Like, I've never seen... I don't know if I've ever seen one with a mag on top and a mag underneath. It's kind of crazy. So it's like a double-shot bolter or rapid fire. I'm guessing some kind of rapid fire bolter. Y'all have to let me know. I feel like it would be... If I had to make a guess, like a heavy bolter rapid fire or something like that, let me know.
The gangers of Chthonia were impressed into the Imperial army in bulk, but the finest killers and survivors amongst them were marked for Legion service. Shipped to Luna in their thousands and bred into Astartes for the Imperium's rapidly expanding crusade, these new recruits wrought upon their new brotherhood extensive changes. For they did not lose the multitude of customs, attitudes, and traditions that thousands of years of internecine gang conflict had created. As more and more Terran Marines fell in the crusade, and more Chthonians took their place, so too did the new culture of the Legion increasingly assert itself. Certain changes were cosmetic, like the slow adoption of topknots and mohawks amongst the Astartes of the 16th,
Mark III armor,
both as personal styles and armor affectations. Armor modifications, such as carving scars over the eye sockets to indicate an honorable kill, became common.
That's cool too.
Legionnaires would often sport Chthonian mirror coin tokens. Chthonian itself became the lingua franca of the Legion, a kind of combat cant to maintain secrecy during field operations, were it to be required. This being said, the operational quality of the Legion was not diminished in the least. If anything, the addition of Chthonian stock merely made the Luna Wolves all the more effective in their war-making. The ruthlessness of the gangs blended perfectly with the 16th's already existing culture, forging a legion that was as successful as it was brutal.
I just want to say I love the armor there. Like, I love the black and the gold, and the freaking silver and the gold, man, and the freaking the gold faceplate there with the red eyes, man. That's super cool, man. That's the art in the Warhammer universe, man. The people that make art like this, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Just put that there.
The pre-existing Luna Wolf propensities for sudden overwhelming assaults matched the savage ferocity of Chthonian warfare, where it was always better to tear out the enemy's throat at the first possible opportunity. The maxim of annihilating the foe almost before they knew they were at war became akin to doctrine in the 16th Legion. Recalcitrant human realms the Luna Wolves encountered would often fall in the first engagement. The Legion identified as many critical threats as quickly as possible, and attacked and overcame each with stunning precision and matchless ferocity. Ships of an expedition fleet would often break into smaller packs to hit as many targets as simultaneously as possible,
look at that chainsword,
unleashing punishing close-range orbital bombardments, followed by mass drop-pod assaults on critical positions.
I love the spikes on the armor too.
Here, the Chthonian mentality would once again assert itself. In the mines, prisoners were just more mouths for a gang to feed with its already scant resources, and their defeat had already proven them to be of inferior stock. The Legion was not one known to take captives. War to them was a matter of choosing the neck and plunging the blade in as quickly as possible.
So they like to fight up close and like just get brutal with it. They just like they didn't play. They just got in fast, fought. I mean, I can respect that. That's pretty cool. So Samar, I can see why you would like this. I mean, the way they fight seems pretty cool. Like I said, with the swords and stuff like that, up close and personal. Like I said, pretty crazy, especially You know, they don't mess around with range too much. Seems like, I mean, they have some bolters and stuff, but they like speed that I'm getting here. Speed and up close.
On many a world, many a tyrant's palace lay in smoking ruin amidst the charred ash of a once proud capital city. By the time expedition, reclamation, and iterator teams began the work of converting the local populace to the imperial truth, the Luna Wolves would often be translating out of the system in search of new conquests.
Well, they seem freaking pretty cool, man. That was a really good video. I'm surprised he ended it that way. Like I said, it wasn't very long. I'm used to Oculus having more longer videos than that. But man, that was a really good one. Big shout out to Samar for that, man. Like I said, I enjoy learning something about the 16th Legion Luna Wolves. Like I said, I feel kind of dumb that I didn't know Horus was from there, but now I know. So, hey man, I'm learning something every video, at least. Like I said, I'm starting to learn, like, more where the Primarchs are from. Like I said, I really do enjoy the Dark Angels, and I know the Lion is the first Primarch and stuff like that. So I'm learning them more and more. I'm getting a little bit less newbie each time I watch these videos, man. But like I said, nonetheless, great video, great recommendation. Oculus is amazing, does very well at what he does. So support the original content. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for showing all the love that you do with the likes, comments, recommendations, all that stuff. So, guys, thank you so much. More Warhammers to come, different things. Anything you would think would be good for the channel, just leave the title below, because I don't think it'll let you post a link. I don't know why. I've looked in my settings, and I can't figure that out, so I don't know. If I ever figure that out, I'll let you know. But till then, just leave the title of the video. Say, hey, I would like you to check this out. I think you'd like it, or something like that. So. Anyways, guys, more is to come. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.